Hey y'all. So we are going to be taking a look at Litha and Talamis season, July and August ahead. So with Litha, right, we're coming out of summer solstice on June 21st, and we are sitting within the watery well of our own emotional cores during this time. This is very much about self-reflection, right? If you think about it, in the northern hemisphere, we are in a time of Litha, which is very watery and really sitting with our emotions. But then at our counterpoint in the wheel of the year, those in the southern hemisphere are at the time of Yule, aka Christmas time, which is also a time of reflection, just through a different lens. So and no matter where you are in the world, whether it's northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, Litha is very much about really sitting with how you feel from a place of reflection and non-resistance, being willing to sit with whatever arises from a place of stillness. It's really about the emotions, the emotional core, without necessarily taking any steps or trying to figure out how to fix anything or alter anything or how to shift one emotion from, one thing to another. It's really just about acceptance of the emotions as they currently are and really sitting with those. Sometimes doing so can lead to questions, right? Not necessarily questions that lead to answers either. Sometimes it's just sitting with our emotions and having questions, which then spawn other questions, which then spawn other questions. But it's a really beautiful opportunity to really live in those questions and consider the aspects within us that are emotionally charged from a place of curiosity and non-judgment. So that's July. Then we move into Lammas in August, which is a time of getting ready to reap that harvest, honey, for Mabon that comes in September, right? It's August. We're at the height of the summer season here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's very warm. We're kind of, winding down the end of summer. And a way it becomes more intense heat-wise, but we're kind of, taking a look out to autumn going, okay, well, the harvest is coming, so let's just slow our roll a bit and just really be grateful for what we have, where we've been, our experiences up until this point, until we go into the autumnal equinox in the following month, which begins our wind down towards the end of the year, right? And remember, this is around the time where we're getting ready and gearing up for the days to begin to shorten in length in a really noticeable way. So it's interesting around that time of equinox and going into the autumn time that in August, it's sort of like one last abundant hurrah, where we're going, yes, like this is wonderful. This is where there's plenty of fruit, there's plenty of veg, there's plenty of food. Everything is in abundance. We even have an abundance of time. This is usually when we have time from work off. School is usually not in session. It's a time where we can really sit down and really appreciate taking things a little bit more slowly, and also, sharing that joy, sharing the sun, being at, its height in the sky and giving us warmth from a place of excitement and joy. Because it's an exciting point as well, because when we are just before the autumnal equinox, we are coming up to the harvest and the holiday season and going back to school and all of those things. It's an exciting time because that's also, a time of year where we have a lot of holidays, and there's an aspect of like, okay, it's like a fresh new start within a fresh new start, right? We're ending the summer, we're going back to work or back to school, and then we're going in through a time which leads to Samhain, and if you're in America, Thanksgiving, and Yule/Christmas, and New Year's resolutions, and the New Year, and all of these things. So it's kind of like let's just relax and really enjoy being where we are as much as we possibly can before the rest of the year unfolds and we're back into the groove of a lot going on. So July and August, this is really such a beautiful, very special time period where we are not just asked, but encouraged to really move a little bit more slowly and be exactly where we are from a place of pleasure, right? In the Southern Hemisphere, with that Yule energy, we're asked to move more slowly, but from a place of introspection, right? But this is really about pleasure, really enjoying being outside, feeling the heat, enjoying the downtime, and enjoying the time before things really rev up and it feels like a bit of a speeding train into the end of the year, and then we're into a whole new year. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm really going to enjoy this time because I know what's coming. There's a lot to be excited for, a lot of holidays coming up, but the food is plentiful right now. The harvest is going to be coming in, and I really can take this time to just enjoy, sit with my emotions as they are from a place of curiosity and non-judgment, and just soak in the sun and the energy and the stillness. It's kind of those, lazy, languid days of summer energy around July and August. So it's such a treat. It's such a beautiful time period to be within. And with that being said, I'm wishing you all such a beautiful Litha and Lammas. I really love doing this series, relatively new series, where we're looking at 2 months ahead within the context of the wheel of the year, because if we can be aware of what nature is doing, of the cycles of nature within a wheel of the year context, then that empowers us to really work with that given energy and get more out of it. As a result, just like they did, pre-industrial revolution, when we align ourselves to nature's cycles, we have a more fully embodied and enriched and empowered experience. And I'm really excited to keep sharing that with you guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this Litha and Lammas. Hey Cancerians, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for July and August, Litha and Lammas. I will say, in your meditation, I saw the image of, I forget which Narnia movie it is, but it was I think it was The Voyage of Caspian or something, where there's a painting of an ocean of a boat, of a ship on the sea, and then it came to life and the water started filling up this room. And it's very watery, Cancers. Like, we're talking about, your birthday season starting off this time period, and then it really felt like a lot of water, almost to the point of being like a choppy ocean or sea. But I was really drawn to the buoyancy fact of like like a ship on the water, right? Being able to float in the environment of just a lot of water going on. So it's interesting how that's coming across. It feels like you'll be able to work within this time and stay afloat, as it were, I want to say. Okay. Gazelle. So this is really interesting because Gazelle energy is fire energy for you, which is beautiful. But what's interesting about Gazelle energy is it's kind of like a dual meaning. So on the light energy of Gazelle relates to 9 of Pentacles in the Tarot, which is about independence, success, a focus on work prosperity, feeling really good about your own accomplishments and achievements that you've made happen within for yourself. But the shadow aspect of gazelle, and it's similar to rabbit in this way, is if you notice those big ears, right? That's its biological imperative to hear danger or predator from really far off, right? So there's a fear inherent in gazelle energy, which speaks of a constant state of vigilance. It can never quite fully relax because it need to be on the lookout for something coming, need to be hyper aware, right? As Cancerians, as water signs, but especially as Cancerians, you're naturally empathic, you're sensitive to the collective energies, right? So considering what is going on within the collective and what will continue to, go on within the collective for some time to come, it really feels like you're going to be feeling to the extreme, feeling a lot. But I feel like your personal buoy, as it were, is your ability to stay connected with your own purpose and path. That feels incredibly important. Your personal buoy is your own personal path. That feels really, really important because it feels like there's going to be a lot of energy and emotion going on around you, and you're really being called to stay connected to you during this time. It feels very important. Let's see what's going on. Oh, this makes so much sense. So here we have the divine physician here, right? Number 6. So the divine physician, just look at this. This is, look at that green energy coming out. You know, this is about the master healer, which is really interesting because we're talking about, you know, you feeling very deeply and be feeling the emotions of others around you, and you're being called to stay connected with your own personal path and objectives and priorities, and that's your own personal buoy. What's really interesting is that we're talking about you being naturally empathic, and then we have this, you know, divine healer archetype here that is literally sending green light to the people around them, healing them, right? I really feel like this is calling focus to your ability to help make, well, you basically have the ability to make people feel better for being in your presence, right? Now, you have a light and dark energy just like everyone, so sometimes that can turn in on yourself and it can get pretty, you know, stormy sea there, like I saw in the meditation, because you're, you know, obviously having a human experience. But I feel like this is speaking to your ability to, during this time period, really be a source of calm and happiness for other people. And again, I feel like spirit is coming in and acknowledging that here. But again, it's really, really important to stay grounded and focused on you. This divine healer, right, takes care of themselves first before they go out and, you know, spread the goodness, as it were. But this also, I feel like, is a special nod to anyone in the healing arts, whether that's medicine or psychology or natural counselor, natural advice giver, anyone who plays that role in their given family unit, the mediator, right? That's special attention to that. And Cancerians, a lot of the time, they are the mediators of their families. I've never noticed that, but it's true. Because they're about family, right? Wow, I just got shivvies. Did I not say that I saw that like ship on a sea in your meditation? Now, what's really interesting here with the lookout, this is similar to the tower energy, but what's fascinating about it, look how it's lining up with the gazelle energy. Gazelle's fire energy, and then we have a ship on fire. Remember, I said that this is about a constant vigilance and not really being able to fully relax. And then we have the lookout, which is all about waiting for the shoe to drop, waiting for the worst to happen. This is the energy. I feel it very distinctly within and for you. And I really feel like this is asking you to, in order to flip this, right, in order to extinguish these fires on the water here, you're really being asked to align with yourself. And if you start feeling overwhelmed, if you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders, or you are just feeling really down, use that as an opportunity to consider, is what you're feeling all yours, or are you possibly feeling other people's emotions as well? Did you watch the news and then feel really heavy? Did you talk to a friend and then felt really just not great? Did you go to work and were around, you know, maybe some negative energies, and then you come home and just feel like, you are really, really being called to be a responsible empath. An empowered empath, as it were, right? Even if you don't identify as an empath, as a Cancer, you are naturally empathic. So you have a responsibility within that to be responsible for your own energies, right? It's really, 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 really important, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's affecting you that's not necessarily yours, right? You know, I'm really drawn to the fact that, like, this is a ship on fire, and then we have the healer here as well. There's really something about that. I really feel like you are being called also within this to take some needed time to rebalance yourself, re-energize yourself, refresh yourself. Whatever for you creates a calm sea, calm that sea, whatever creates that, you know, feeling of zen or groundedness, you are really being encouraged to prioritize that during this time. Oh my God. Did we not just talk about your own personal zen and groundedness? Is beautiful. So the Buddha prepares. This is stunning. Look at all this. Look at all this orange. You know, the Buddha prepares is about waiting and patience. This Buddha is not going to go anywhere until he is fully ready. All of these people are waiting. It's another thing where you have people around you that could be affecting you during this time, right? and whether it's the collective at large, your own personal family or coworkers or friends, whatever this is. But the Buddha prepares, this is really about taking the time that you need to ground and balance and energize yourself, and knowing that in doing so, you are not only able to serve yourself, but serve others, because you did serve yourself first. You are really being called to enact in some major self-care during this season. That is always a good thing, but it feels particularly important. I feel like Spirit is going like, this could make the difference on if they feel overwhelmed, during this time, or if they, if they feel balanced and able to go with it. Oh my God, this is your advice. 10 of Cups. Here for it. Water energy to end on. I love it because you have all this fire. It's also, I want to point out something. These are 3 major arcanas that you have here. That is insane, right? Major arcanas are about destined or fated events. So this is a significant time period for you. This is not arbitrary. If you see minor arcanas and you see something you don't like, you can go ahead and change it, but not, this is like a very, very important time period. With the 10 of Cups here, when this comes in as your advice, you are really being called, I'm sorry about the lawnmower, it's like crazy timing, but you're really being called to embrace the happiness that is available to you within and around you. Being your own personal 10 of Cups, really allowing yourself to live in a vibration of appreciation and clear perspective at all times. And there's also this energy, I'm really drawn to the deer energy here. There is also this strong energy of having compassion, right? Compassion for yourself, compassion for others, wherever they are at their stage and experience, and an overall, and most of all, compassion for yourself. It all begins there. And from that place of compassion, can you go on and positively affect change with others? And that's really, really, really beautiful, Cancer. And that really is what it's all about. There's also this aspect within the 10 of Cups as well. Yes, we are in the summertime and all of those things, but there's also floating cups. Like, it's literally water floating in the air here. And we're talking about your own personal buoy system. There's also this aspect, again, it's like surrounded by people, surrounded by people, surrounded by animals. I really feel like you are going to be not only affected by the emotions and needs of others, but you're also going to be in a position to be a positive source of comfort and clarity and influence. And if you can take responsibility for that and enjoy that during this time, then you really have the ability to empower yourself in a newfound way, because really there is something to be said for feeling needed and wanted and appreciated and valued. And that is what we're looking at here. We're looking at how to enact in self-care for yourself in a time where you are going to be very valued, needed, appreciated, and called upon. Whether it's emotional support, advice giving, whether it's you're being asked to step up in your work situation, be a boon for your partner, but whatever this is, you are going to be, there's going to be quite a bit asked of you during this time. So this is really about how to care for yourself, how to stay grounded, and really look at it as an honor, because this Buddha preparing, this divine position, this is because that's aligned with your soul imprint and purpose of being a source of comfort and help and a healer for other people. And that is such a beautiful calling and a beautiful part of your human experience as a spiritual being, having a human experience. It's absolutely stunning. Let's go ahead and get an oracle here. Let's do an ancestor here. What is the oracle for Cancers? Oh my God, I'm so obsessed. This is really interesting. So you got Rebel, Free Spirit. What's really interesting is that this fairy is sitting on a moon, and you as Cancerians are ruled by the moon. That's your ruling planet. And then you have the moon here. So the moon is about the unknown and the unseen
psychic ability, and a little bit of anxiety and mania as well. What's really interesting with this free spirit and this rebel aspect, I feel like this is linking you directly to the gazelle, the light energy of the gazelle energy, which is about focusing on your own personal path and empowerment in order to balance you and make sure your own cup is filled in the face of being there for other people, right? But this free spirit, this rebel, I feel like this is a special call for you to acknowledge the ways in which you are a unique individual and really allow yourself to appreciate in yourself what others appreciate in you. It feels really, really important and an opportunity for huge growth and empowerment and just really profound healing, not just for yourself, but for those around you. It's really, really beautiful. I know it's a cliche, but I have to say, I have to quote the Spider-Man because that's what I'm feeling. It's like with great power comes great responsibility, and that's what this feels like. And it's such a beautiful calling and such a beautiful time for you to really enjoy that being there for others and allowing, also yourself to focus on what is it about you that makes you uniquely special and about your personal soul path and blueprint in this current incarnation with the current time that you have. How are you using it? And what aspects of yourself are being called to the forefront for you to really make your piece of the world better than how you found it, right? It's the rebels, it's the visionaries, it's those who are clicked into what makes them uniquely themselves that are aligned with their best paths. And that's why I always say thank you for being you. That's what that's all about. Thank you for being you. So Cancer, I feel like the whole point of this reading is thank you for being you. It's really, really beautiful. But that being said, I'm sending you blessings and love, my beautiful Cancerians. I so hope that this helped and resonated. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I would so appreciate that. Again, I apologize for that noise. And with that being said, just thank you so much for being here. And most of all, and as always, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.